Hi everyone, today I want to share with you basic EndNote features you might be missing. Let's start with importing papers to your library. My favorite importing method is to use a Word document with EndNote citations to load citations into my library. So next time you are collaborating with someone that gives you a Word document with citations, you can upload the citations to your library and then continue adding citations to the manuscript without any problem. Here is how it works. So for example, let's say that somebody gives you this Word document that cites these two papers, one Gupta, the other one Le Pen as first authors, and you want to add this to your library. So if we check our library, we don't have those papers from Gupta and Le Pen. So how do we import them from the file document? So that's pretty straightforward. You go to the EndNote tab here. Then you go to Tools, Import Traveling Library, and then you want to add it to your library. You say OK. So these are the two imported references. And if you check, both Gupta and Le Pen are now part of your library. Okay, let's see how you typically import papers and how to deal with the cases where the search is not working or you want to import, for example, a preprint for a citation. So for example, you want to import this paper as a citation. You can go and copy the title, and then so you go to the PubMed library and then you copy paste the title, search is the library, and then you have it. You have to add it now to your libraries. Here you have it among your recently added references, and if you go, you have like a reference duplicated because I have it before, and you can remove one or the other one with Command D or directly like this. So that's the way you import most of the time your papers, but sometimes there are issues with the title that you cannot use this method. So let me give you an example. We have, for example, this paper here that has some sort of strange notation. And if we go to the title and we try to search it, there is no matching reference found. I guess that is something with the plus symbol, or whenever you have symbols, that's usually a problem. So again, you cannot find it there. So you copy the title, then you go to Google and paste the title directly on Google. Usually the first citation or the first page that comes is the PubMed link. So you click there and you will find here this PubMed ID. So this is what we are going to use. So we copy that PubMed ID. Then we go back to our PubMed search. What we do is we clear the search and we use PubMed ID instead of the title. We paste that, we search for the manuscript, and there it is. So again, we add it to our library with this plus sign. And if we go to the references, we have the paper here, again duplicated because I had it before. We'll remove the old one. So the last tricky case to import citation is when you don't have it in PubMed. For example, if you want to cite a preprint, this is quite straightforward as well. Let me show you how it works. So imagine that we want to cite this paper. We just need to go here, in the case of bioRxiv, to citation tools. We click here in the EndNote tag, and then we just double click and we open that file. And if we go to the imported references, we have that imported file that, again, we can go to the all references and we can see that we have this duplicated. However, there is a differences here. We have these extra symbols that we don't want. So let me move now from how to import files to how to modify your references. So that's pretty simple. You just double click here and you see that this, you can remove it, you can add it here. And in the original title, this was in italics. So we just need to highlight that. We highlight it in italics, save, and we are good now. So you see it's in italic. Okay, again, we have it duplicated. We are going to move it to true. Okay, that's enough for importing files. Now let's see how to modify the style of how the citations are presented. So imagine we have this Word document with a small paragraph citing different works. So we go to the EndNote tab what we want to do first is change the style of these citations, and there are lots of variations. Here we're using the annotated, but we can change it to, for example, this author date format, and you see that it does change the format here of the references, and we can change it to other ones where also you have it here numbered other than having the titles, and this will depend on what the journal asks you for. And also in some cases it's good to have it with names if that helps you work with your manuscript. So usually the APS 7 is one that I like to use. So now let's say that you want to use another style. How do you do that? You can go and select another style. EndNote has a lot of them. You can, for example, choose this one, this AAG style guide. We choose it just because it's at the beginning. And once you choose it, you have it here already among those that you typically use, so you can go back and forth between the different styles if you need. Right, what now if you want to edit this file? What I usually do is I go to the EndNote page and go to the output style page within the EndNote website, and here you can ask for the AAG and you look for it, and this is the style. So you download the style, then you can open that style that you saved and you can edit the style from there. So for the moment we are not going to do any changes. I just gonna save it as save as, and we'll call it AAG style guide modified, save. And now back in my Word file, what I'm gonna do is select other styles, and we will choose that AAG style guide modified. We'll choose it. It will be the same as the original. So now what happens if we want to change how the citations are presented? So for example, what if we want to move the year just before the journal and after the title, and we want to make it bold? So for that we need to go back to the styles. So we are back in EndNote and we go to Tools, Output Styles. We open the Output Manager, then we select this formatting. Then we go to the bibliography templates, and here we have journal articles. So we want to change the position of the year. So we just move the year from here, and we want to put it here before the journal. And what we want to do is also make it bold. So we select that and we can say bold within the fonts. We're going to save that, close. And now we go back to our Word file. And if we do update citations and bibliography, you see that the date was moved before the journal and it's now in bold. So that's how you edit the citations for the different styles. Finally, let's see how to edit the bibliography. There are two ways to do it. First, I will show you how to do it the easy way, and then I will show you the better way. So there is something funky that happens when you try to edit the style of this bibliography. For example, if I go home and I want this to be, for example, a bigger size or a smaller size. So we have it like that. Then if I go here or to edit, and then I want to edit the citations, you can do it from here. So for example, I want to remove one of these citations. So I go here, I say remove citation. Okay. So you see that the citation was removed. However, the style changed. So the size of the font is as the text, so it's not longer compressed. So again, if I select this, I go to home and I say like, okay, make this really tiny. And then I want to add that citation again. So I go back to the library, click on this citation that I removed, and I add it. And you see that this becomes of the same size, the font, as the text. And this is not what we want. So how to avoid that? There are two ways to do about it. The first one is to lose all the formatting, and you can do it once you finish working with your manuscript. You want to send it, and you want to edit that manually, what you can do is remove all the formatting, or you do that going to tools and convert to plain text. This will create a new file, however, and this is the file, and you can see that there is nothing here that is hypertext, and you can go and do whatever you want with this. You can make it small. You see here that if you go to EndNote and you see edit citations, there is nothing to be edited because all the formatting was removed. You can do this thing manually. For example, we want to remove this cleany, and you can come here and do it here as well, and you could be good. However, this can have problems. For example, you forgot something and you want to add it in the middle of the text, or if your references are numbered, this can create a lot of confusion. So let me show you another way you can edit your bibliography, that you can have it and it will always work from the beginning. The edits will be done without any problem automatically. So if we go to our original Word file, what we need to do is configure here bibliography, and you go to the layout, and here the size, we wanted to make it small. I just go for the 10. And now, for example, let's say we want to add a new citation. So we go to our library and let's add this paper. So I select it here, and then I can do insert selected citation. The citation is added, and you can see here that the size of the text remains small as we wanted. Okay, that's it for today. We cover how to import citations from Word files, old papers with weird titles, and also preprints. We also cover how to select, import, and modify styles. And finally, I show you how to edit the bibliography. If you like this content, please subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to make these videos accessible to others, including yourself, in the future. If you're writing a manuscript, I have a playlist that covers how to write each section, and I will see you there.